Good morning. Happy Monday. Good morning, Dora. Well, I hope you all had a good weekend. Um, I got a lot of stuff put in the dumpster. Morning, Deb. That was kind of my weekend, but it's good. We had a lot of, so the roof is done, and we had a larger dumpster than we needed for the back part of the roof, so we could get rid of all the stuff we've accumulated. Through, the porch project and all the things that I've been working on lately. Um, so that's pretty great. And so the next project is a deck because we can't just, be happy. There has to be more. Um, but we had a deck that we had built out of pallets that my husband scrounged from somewhere, and it was pretty good. And I think we kind of just built it to see if we would use it and if we liked where it was, and it held up pretty well for several years, and then it started to kind of come apart. So that all went in the dumpster, and we're gonna build an actual deck this time. Um, so yeah, that'll be a whole big thing. But I don't know. I'm not sure when we're gonna do that. I've been trying to put things in the cart to order the materials for it, and I'm having a hard time sourcing what I need from one place. There's a real shortage of lumber in general, pressure treated lumber in particular. I think because everybody's building things, everybody's working on their outdoor space, which is great. It's very encouraging to see people um, using their time productively, right? If you're going to be home, you might as well do something to make your home more livable. Good morning, Sue. But it's a pain for me, so I don't know. I think they're getting stuff all the time. We may just have to wait a little bit, or I might have to order half from one place, half from another. I don't really know. We'll see what happens. But that's really the last thing I think I wanted to get done for the summer. So I'm not, if it takes a little bit, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'm still trying to get my porch done. I still have trim and things to do on that. I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to do that. Later, maybe next month. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that while I'm waiting for my lumber. We'll see what happens. But there's always something to do, right? Everybody. I was talking to my sister and my brother about that projects kind of lead to more projects, right? So, and not just like initially. So maybe you take apart something and realize that there's a whole lot more wrong than you thought. But you do you get on a roll of, you have this, and then you think, well, maybe I should do this. And, I think it's great. But as with everything, you always wish that you knew these things before, So I feel like I'm going to be like the smartest and most experienced 80-year-old construction worker ever. but I wish I'd known all that stuff 20 years ago, or but that's not how it works, right? But it's a shame, right, that we learn all this stuff and we build our experience, and then we get to the point where physically we maybe aren't able to do that stuff anymore. So then you have to have like a kid to do the stuff for you. You just tell them what to do. And that's what I remember my dad doing that. That was sort of my dad's job, was to tell us what we ought to be doing. And he was pretty good at that. So that will be my role eventually, I suppose. All right. Well, we'll get started. I think we're just going to, again, sort of work on breath today. So sitting up, nice and tall, shoulders back. And let's do that kind of first stage of Agnisara that we've done. So you got hands on the knees. And we're going to be drawing the belly button in, that whole abdominal section, just drawing it in as close as you can toward the back. And then relaxing, letting it extend again. So as we're drawing it in, that's the exhale. Inhale is the relax. And maybe, do that about 10 times. And it may not feel like very much is happening, especially when you first start, right? Because you're kind of getting the hang of moving everything. And it may, as you go, get a little more exaggerated. You might sort of feel your way into bigger movements. And then, when you finish like 10 of those, that's good. And we're just going to sit here for a few moments and breathe. Work on that even breath. So we're bringing the air in through the nose, back out through the nose, maybe to a count of 4. And just kind of focusing on that, keeping that breath count. If you find 4 is maybe too much, maybe you do 3. Depends how fast you count or how deep a breath you want to take. Maybe you want to do 6. I don't know. See what works for you. But you shouldn't feel really strained with this. It should feel pretty natural. A lot of times we have to start a little lower, especially if we haven't done a lot of deep breathing over the years. Just like our flexibility expands, our lung capacity expands the more we use it and the deeper our breath is. So if you take up a practice of deep breathing where it's something you do regularly, you will see some increase in the lung capacity. Which is good, right? That just means you're going to be able to count more before you feel like you need to exhale again. So keep working on the breath. And again, the breath, just like everything else in yoga, you're not going to increase the capacity if you just try to do, huge and make a huge effort at it once a week or once a month or just whenever you think about it. It's that the consistent practice that causes changes in all things. Right? And that is easy, but it's so hard as well. Right? It's wonderful if you think about it, right? Because a lot of times I think we get very frustrated when we talk about change and doing things because our perception is that we have to do a lot, that we have to really struggle and run for an hour a day or work out at the gym for 2 hours a day. You don't have to do any of those things, but you have to do it consistently. You can work at, as we say with yoga, half capacity to half of your capacity so that you aren't killing yourself. You aren't exerting yourself to the point of exhaustion. But you have to do it. You have to do it. I mean, I'm going to tell you, you have to do it every day. If you skip a couple of days, that's okay. But if you plan to just do it once a week, and here's another one of my quotes that I'm going to mess up, but it is a good quote about the amount of time, and it was like once a week to survive, right? So doing yoga, doing this breathing, doing all this, if you do it once a week, you're gonna do that's good. I mean, but it's gonna keep you right where you are. Maybe you're not gonna lose too much, but you're not really gonna gain either. I think it was okay. So once a week to survive, twice a week, no, once a week to survive, 3 times a week to thrive, every day to come alive. Right? So if you want to really come alive with your practice, be it asana, pranayama, meditation, right? Dhyana, those things are not, it's not something you do every now and then when you think about it. You do it every day or almost every day. And that's a hard thing for people to swallow, right? They don't want to hear that. Everybody wants it to be easy. But it is, right? It's as easy as brushing your teeth, right? If someone told you, hey, you got to brush your teeth twice a day, every day for the rest of your life, well, I don't know, if you'd never brushed your teeth, you might feel like that was a burden, right? Oh my God, twice a day I got to do that? Are you kidding me? Well, we do it. And for people that say, well, brush your teeth only takes 5 minutes. Yeah, well, a lot of these things only take 5 minutes also. But it's consistent, right? You got to find a time that works for you. Stick with it. Make it part of your day, just like brushing your teeth. You don't have to do an hour of asana every day. You could do 10 minutes, 5 minutes. You could do an hour. I mean, it's up to you. But it's really so the movement obviously helps the body, but it's the practice, right? It's the practice of coming to the mat every day, doing the things you want to do, keeping that mental concentration. That's what makes the changes. Because once you're doing that, then you start doing other things. You start using that focus, using that discipline in other areas of your life. Just like a snowball, right? So it starts small, but you keep gathering snow, and then things get quite big as you go along. So breathing. Right? It's something we do every day. And with a lot of these things, asana, a lot of the things in asana, we do movement every day. But doing these things mindfully and with purpose is what changes them from our ordinary to something pretty extraordinary. So now, some asana. So we're going to sit up tall, again, shoulders back. And then bringing the chin down toward the chest. Let the head hang down. Lifting up, head drops back. Head to center. Take a breath. And lower. Head over to the right. Back to center. Head goes left. And back to center. Lean forward a little and move around. One way and the other. Back up to your seat, arms wide. Deep breath in, exhale, hands together in the front. Inhale wide. And exhale, hands together. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, hands together. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands, gaze up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift the arms. Lower. Once more, lifting up. And then bring right arm down, reach across with the left. Switch sides. And arms back by your side. Lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Right hand on left knee. Left arm behind you, sit up tall. Take a twist. Back to center. Switch sides. Inhale and twist. And back to center. Tabletop. Sitting back on the heels. Keep breathing here. Maybe we'll stack the fists and just rest the forehead. Take a few breaths. And then moving back up. Tabletop. Let's extend the right leg back. Just press the heel away. And switch. Back to tabletop. We're going to do a few sets of cat-cow. Loosening up through the spine, a little inhale, and then exhale. Draw the belly in, press down with the hands. Finish up the set that you're on. Flip the toes, lift up to downward dog. Move it around a little. And walk the feet up. So we're here in a fold. Take a breath or two. And as you're ready, rising up, standing tall, deep breath in and out. Inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot steps back. Set the knee down, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat, moving back. Downward dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower. On an inhale, we're lifting up head and chest. And lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up, head and chest. And lower down. Moving back up, tabletop to downward dog. One more breath in. Then step the right foot up toward the hands. Left knee drops down, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat, stepping the back foot up. We'll fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, arms high. Back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, left foot steps back. Drop the knee, arms overhead. Hands to the mat, stepping back, downward dog. Inhale, high plank, and lower. Inhale, lift, head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift, head and chest. Lower. Last one, either head and chest, or you can come all the way up. Upward dog. Moving back to downward dog. One more breath. Left foot steps up. Set the knee down, arms overhead. And then hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift high. Back to mountain. Take a breath. And I think we're going to do another round of those. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step the right foot back. Drop the knee, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat, stepping back, downward dog. Inhale, moving forward to high plank, then lower down. I'm just going to do one of these, so either inhaling head and chest or coming up to upward dog. And then moving back, downward dog. Take one more breath, then step that left foot up. Right knee drops, arms overhead. Back to the mat. Back foot steps up. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting on the inhale. We're back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back. Drop your knee, arms overhead. Hands to the mat, moving back. Downward dog. Inhale to high plank. And then lower. On an inhale, we're going to lift up, head and chest, or all the way up to upward dog. Ending up in downward dog. Take one more breath. Then we're going to step left foot up. Drop the right knee, arms overhead. Both hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. And back to mountain. Take a breath. So the sun salutations that we do are really meant to just kind of warm up the body, right? To get everything warmed up. And you probably feel pretty warmed up now, which is good. But they're also a pretty complete exercise in and of themselves. So if you wanted to just do a quick asana every day, right? A quick little 5-minute, 10-minute asana, those sun salutations would be a pretty good choice. You are bending a bunch of different ways. You're using the upper body, lower body, core all together. So it's a pretty quick way. And also where you don't have to really think too much, right? You're doing a little bit of everything in a very short period of time. You don't have to pick and choose which poses I should be doing. So, yeah, I would recommend sun salutations is a really good place to start if you're, want to do a little practice when you aren't here doing practice. Okay, let's do some balance. Standing on the left, kickstand, further up, whatever works for you. We've got right knee is rotated out, having that balance to center, using strength in the leg, strength in the core, hold you steady. You can always extend the arms if that's in your practice today. And then just set the foot back down. We'll switch sides. Standing on the right, getting that strength through the body, steadiness, breathe. Focus your gaze, eye level or higher. And then bring everything back down, bicycle out the legs. And let's step out into a warrior 3. So we've got hands to center. Give yourself some room in front. Take a deep breath. And then we're going to start stepping out with the left. We're leaning forward as we're lifting that back leg, finding your steadiness. Trying to keep your gaze out a little bit so you're not looking straight down at the mat. It helps keep the body up. And again, hands could be at center, or you could do airplane arms to the side if that helps you. If you're steady, balance. Moving slowly and deliberately. And then set the foot back down. And we'll work on the other side. Take a breath, stepping out with the right, and then lifting the left as you lean. And if we aren't, if you don't feel real stable, you can always just touch that toe down and then try lifting it for a few seconds, just to give yourself an opportunity to balance a little, right? But sometimes it's just not working, right? Your balance is a little iffy. That's fine. We're just working where we can today. Keep breathing. And then set your foot back down, bicycle out the legs. And let's do our feet exercises. So we've got standing up on the balls of the feet. Right? So we're lifting up the heels. And if you feel good with that, you could come higher, right? Lifting up most of the foot. So you're up on the balls of the feet. But go cautiously with this. If you feel like you're getting too high, then just come back down again. It's all just balancing. And set it back down. Then lifting the front part of the feet. So we are balancing on our heels. You might move around a little for this. And it helps, I think. And then set the feet down. We're going to lift the inner part of the feet, so we're rolling out onto the edges. Be careful that you don't go too far and hurt your ankle with this. We just want to lift as much of that inner part of the foot as we can. And then set the foot down, and we're going to be pressing down with the big toe and the inner part of the foot. So you might step the feet a little wider if you feel like that helps. We're lifting up the toes, the outer parts of the feet as much as you can. You may feel like it's a very small movement. And again, it takes time. We have to build up that flexibility and the strength in the feet. So these are good to do anytime, right? You could do these a couple times a day. You could do them, you can do them as part of a balancing practice, but you could also just do them like seated, and just moving your feet just to keep things flexible. And then bicycle out the legs. Come on back, top of the mat, arms overhead. Let's lean back a little. And then fold forward. Inhale, coming up to a flat back. Exhale, step back, downward dog. Come on forward to high plank and lower down. Head turns right, arms by your side. Take a few breaths. Head back to center. And we're just going to leave the hands by your side. Flip the palms. Lifting up, head and chest, and the arms, and then the legs. And lower down. Head turns to the left. Bring your head back to center. We're going to bring the arms out in front. Rest one forearm on top of the other. We're going to set the head down. And you're going to keep the forehead resting on the arms as we lift up the head and chest and the arms, and then lift the legs. Lower down. And maybe we just rest the chin on the hands here. Take a few breaths. Bring the legs wide on the mat. And then we're going to start moving back up. Tabletop, child's pose. And then tabletop, downward dog. Walk your feet up. And come on down to a seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together. Take a deep breath here. And then we're going to lean forward, leading with the chest. Going just as far as you feel is reasonable for today. Right? So with our practice, we're always trying to get that physical feedback. So what we may have in our heads, what we think we should be doing doesn't matter, right? What matters is, how does it feel? What is your body telling you you ought to be doing today? And we might think, a lot of times I think we feel like our body is so lazy, right, and so bad that it's going to tell us to just lay around all day, right? And the truth is, that's not really what's going to happen, right? You might think that that's what will happen, and it might happen for a while, right? Maybe you've been pushing yourself so hard you need that for a while. But it won't be like that forever, especially if you are generally an active person. Your body's going to miss it, and it will tell you, time to get going, time to keep moving. So your body, I know I've said this before, but so my dog loves her walk. And you have to be really careful about when you give her walk, because she will expect it at that same time every day for the rest of her life. So your body's the same way. Once you've done more and more exercise, it's not going to let you forget that you did that. It's going to remind you, hey, your muscles are going to start feeling funny. You're going to have, like, sort of tingly feelings in the legs, right? Kind of that sensation that it needs to move, it needs to stretch. So you'll get reminded. You won't need to think about it. Your body will just tell you, time to get going again. But trust yourself with this. Don't feel like, again, we always feel the worst. We always have the worst belief about ourselves. Instead of thinking, hey, I'm going to want to do things that make me feel good, we think, oh, I'm just lazy. I'll stay on the couch. Arms up overhead. Maybe you need to stay on the couch. I don't know. Fold forward. Right? But that balance of effort and ease, exertion and relaxation, we have to find that balance. And then walk your hands back up. Bend the right knee, lower out to the side, and bring the foot in. Take a deep breath, and then fold forward. So I think sometimes people think the balance is right. So they work really hard, they do a lot of exercise and active things on the weekends, and then they do nothing all week. Well, that's not balance, right? That is exertion, heavy exertion, and then heavy relaxation. Rather, what we want is moderation, right? To do a little something every single day. We're going to get better results. We're going to feel better. Come back up. And then switch sides. Deep breath in, fold forward. Back up, both legs out in front. Deep breath in, fold forward. Walk your hands back up. Bend the knees. And we're going to bring in soles of the feet to the mat. Leave yourself some room behind to lower down or rock back. And just be comfortable on the mat for a few breaths. Let everything settle down. And then we've got the knees bent, soles of the feet to the mat, right ankle up on top of left knee. If things are tight in the right hip, maybe we stay here, or we could press that knee away from the body. Or we could draw the left thigh in towards the chest if you have a little more room. Interlace the fingers behind the thigh and just draw it in as close as you can. Breathe. And then let's set both feet back down. Switch sides. So get the left ankle on the right knee. And then whatever we did on the one side, we're going to do on the other. So as you work through your practice, you may find that, there are some things that you can do quite well on one side and not so well on the other. Work on that side that you're having trouble with. That's the one you want to focus on, not so much the other. So we want to kind of work to get both sides more equalized. And we can't do that if we're working super hard on that really flexible side and ignoring that tighter side. And then set both legs back down. Getting ready for bridge. Heels in, close to the body. Hands by your side. We're going to press down, lifting up the hips. Keep breathing. Begin lowering down. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Maybe bring the arms up over the head if you feel like it. Relax and breathe. Let's bring knees to center, hug them in. We can rock a little side to side. Arms out to a T or goalpost arms. Start lowering both knees over to the right. And then bring the knees over to the left. Back to center. Extend the legs straight up. Arms by your side, palms pressing down. And then lower the legs down. You can go one at a time or both together, whatever works for you. And then just find a comfortable place to rest for Shavasana. Allow the body to really sink down onto the mat. Feel the support of the ground below you. Keep the breath moving in the body. Find that peace. So we carry this peace within us. When we discard all of the outer things, all of the stressful things that come at us all day long, all week long, when we set those aside, when we limit our awareness of what's going on around us, when we draw our senses more inward, and keep going even further inward to that space inside, there is nothing there but peace. Right? We think sometimes people are afraid to be with their thoughts or in the quiet because they fear what is within, right? But the only thing that's within that may distress us are our thoughts, right? When we set those aside, we don't give any attention to those. We come to that peaceful place. So rather than sitting with our thoughts, which can be distressing depending on where our mind is running today, rather sit with our spirit. Release the thoughts. We don't need them now. Thoughts are helpful, thoughts are useful. We use them all day long, but we don't need them now. So watch them float away. Bring your focus back to the center, to the breath. When you're ready, moving a bit, fingers and toes, hands and feet. Making your way over to your right side and then back up to a seat on the mat. We'll bring hands together for a deep breath in and out. Thank you for taking some time today for yoga and for sharing with me. I hope you have a really great Monday. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for coming to class. I hope you have a good Monday, a productive Monday. Keeping your focus on the positive, taking some small steps today, doing something consistent. And see, where in your life could you do that? Could you bring a little more consistency and a little less, craziness, right? I do this where, I'll get like thoughts and ideas. I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to do that thing, and I'll plan like 12 different things that I think I'm going to get done. And then I end up so disappointed, right? And I feel like, oh, this whole day, and I've overwhelmed myself with thoughts about what I should be doing. And then I don't really end up doing much of anything because I'm sitting here thinking about how can I get all this done? And so I don't really do anything. And, you can waste your whole life like that, right? If you waste a couple days like that, don't worry about it. But if you find yourself doing that consistently, start shooting lower, right? Aim for less. Make your plans more attainable. Sometimes we just do it out of, just being over enthusiastic. But sometimes it is a sort of calculated procrastination technique, right? If you make your list too big, you won't even want to get to it. So make a small list. Make one thing, get that done. Make another, get that done. It's a way of just giving yourself an opportunity to succeed rather than consistently feeling like you are coming up short. So be kind to yourself and be patient and see what you can get done. Okay. I'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, and for something else. All right. Have a good day.